That's not goody?
All right, crank it up, turn it down.
Should've
In
been.
this segment, it should have been. In this segment, we talk about some controversial drum habits. I say controversial just to pit these two together or against each other because they're sitting so close on this tiny couch, and we need some tension. We need some tension between our guest and Sean. It's always fun to watch from afar.
I do like WWE too.
But we'll see. There's actually going to be a ladder match in this very studio later on today.
It's just a work.
It's just that's all this is. It's all built up. It's just an angle. Crank it up, turn it down. I'm going to name some things. If you dig it, Brian, crank it up. If you really dig it, crank it up to 11. That's like, this is my favorite thing in drumming. If you don't dig it, it's not your style, turn it down.
All right.
And if you really don't dig it, you can crank it down.
Sean made
Crank
that one
it
up.
down.
I
Okay,
made it
so
up.
we got crank it up to 11, turn it down to 11. Crank it down. Sorry.
Got a good memory.
Yeah. Crank it
I'm
down to
definitely gonna
negative
forget.
one.
Oh, it's like when you meet somebody and you're like, hi, my name's Frank. What's up, Bill?
Exactly. Immediately gone.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. First one, crank it up. Sean's a little fiery today. Crank it up, turn it down. Band logo Drumheads. I'm going to say that again. Crank it up, turn it down. Band logo Drumheads. Having a dedicated drum head, reso head on your bass drum with your band name on it.
I'll crank it up.
Why? Why are you cranking it up?
You know, I think like everything that you do is marketing when you're playing in a band, and it's just an opportunity for people to remember who your band is. But it's also like it is a prideful thing to put your band's information out there for people to see. I can see something like it's like getting a monogram shirt.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like, are you trying to remind yourself that like your name is, Brian or something? But I think that I'm not going to be like, yo, crank it to 11. I won't play a bass drum without my monogram on or my bass drum logo on it. But yeah, I think it's a brave thing to do.
I have a follow-up for you.
Yeah, okay.
Do you do this with either of your bands you're playing with?
No. But we certainly talked about it.
Okay.
And if somebody bought me the bass drum head, I'd be okay with doing it.
Hey, I'll mention this. This is a good time to mention this, actually. We have a hookup that can get that done. So come see Drums Etc. Give us a call. Before we send your bass drum head out, we can make that happen.
It's not me.
It's not Brian. He clearly doesn't know anything about it.
No.
Or else he'd
he'd be
have
doing
one
it.
right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Another follow-up to the follow-up.
Okay.
Here we go. Do you think it's problematic if you're sharing a kit?
Oh man, that's
Because that happens so often.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're like the headlining band or you're the band that put everything together, then like, yeah, sure, I think that's fine. But like, then also at the same time, like, where are you playing this kit? Like, are you playing this monogram kit at my? I keep saying monogram. This,
I've never heard that term before.
dude.
But I'm like shaking my head. Yeah, monogram.
Yeah, dude,
I've never heard
monogram.
that
That's
before
the
in my
one,
life.
dude.
I just picture a bass drum head that looks like you got like the threading of your first name. It just says
that would
Brian
look, dude, that would look
on a
sick.
bass drum head.
See, that would look sick because that's unique.
Yeah.
But like, if you're playing at my studio, like, if somebody's like, "Yo, we're gonna backline my kit," I don't care, and I don't think anybody else would care because it's just like you're not. It's not like that's the defining factor of the show. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but like maybe if you're playing at Tellus in the backstage and you're opening up for, I don't know, who the Melvins, right? They're not going to want to play that bass drum. You know what I mean? Well, they're not going to be backlining the kit anyways, but like
still.
right? Yeah, like
That's a little too iconic. But for like a local show, I mean, I played this summer at Love Draft Brewery and
the one in Mechanicsburg.
the one in Mechanicsburg, right?
That place looks great. They did such a good job.
That place is great.
Shout out
Great
Love Draft.
sound.
It used to be a Quaker Steak
It
and
is
Lube.
freaking awesome. It was great.
Yeah, and before that, I think it was like a Golden Corral or something.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah, I used to
That
live like right
building's
there,
been
dude.
through a lot.
That,
dude.
that place
Wow.
is
There
great.
used to be a Dunham Sports up there, dude. I used to get all my gear. But anyway, so you're saying you're playing at Love
But
Drafts.
it
Sorry.
wasn't. The main band had their tapestry behind us, so there's pictures of me playing, and it says the name of the band. That's the
That's
headline.
for me. That's weird.
Okay.
That's weird. But if it's like a bass drum head, I don't care.
But I've done. I'm gonna. Well, first of all, I'm gonna crank it up with the bass drum logo head.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, with the band
Great minds
logo.
think alike.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, and I have to crank it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will continue the trend. I'm going to crank it up as well. I'm going to crank it up. I like what you're going with marketing. Like in my mind, it's all like I view things through a branding, marketing world now.
And actually,
and I think that's really cool. I will say that if I was backlining a kit and that was my normal thing to do, I'd probably put something more generic on it.
Yeah,
Like depending on the gig. But if it's the bigger the stage, the more I think it would be warranted. This actually reminds me of a story. I totally forgot about this. This was my first band I was ever in high school. We went a while without a name, but then our name was Jumping the English Channel, which is a reference to a Monty Python sketch where the guy literally says he's going to jump the English Channel and gets this whole crowd together and just jumps in the water and splashes and doesn't make it, but it's all this buildup. And it's a hilarious sketch.
Yeah.
But our band was called Jumping the English Channel. And what I did, this is a unique thing because it's not actually the bass drum head itself. What I did is I ended up, I forget if I bought or found, somehow I ended up with a stop sign. Right, like a stop sign, an actual stop sign, and it had holes in on the outer edges of it. Either that or I drilled them, and I painted over stop and changed it to jump, but it still looked like a stop sign, and so it said jump, jumping the English Channel.
Yeah.
And I took little bungee cords and I bungeed it to the front of the bass drum using those tension rods.
dude,
and
that
it
must
just
have been
hovered there.
so boomy.
It was
Like
a
that extra
plank of metal, like
sheet of metal right there.
yeah.
dude.
Oh, it probably
cool.
ruined the sound. But I totally forgot about that until right now because I remember the first time I did it. I showed up to the gig and I was sharing someone else's kit, but I was like, bam, and I instantly like made it It looked like our thing.
Yeah.
And then I took it off.
No, that's really smart.
That's a good idea.
That's really smart, dude. Like,
Dude, I totally
This
forgot
guy.
about that. Wow.
do you
That's
own
a
a
good idea.
business?
But hey,
We sell stop signs.
I wanted to say about the logo on the bass drum.
Yeah.
When at Drums Etc. on New Holland Avenue, we would rent drum sets for bands. It was my idea. I said we need to put the Drums Etc. logo on the freaking.
Did
bass
you?
drum.
I never
And we
actually
did.
saw the drums.
Yep.
I would always like pack them up for people to take,
did.
but I never like saw
Yes.
the drums.
Yep. We actually had it made.
Yeah, that was cool.
Had
And that
made
was
it
a
up.
throwback logo too. What's that guy's name? I can't think of it right now.
Gary Volpe.
No, not Gary. I know Gary designed it, but the name of the man, it's something man.
Oh.
He looks like he's made of tubes.
Oh.
Tube man.
I
It's
forget.
not
what
like
they call it.
I must have
Ah.
Cyberman.
I'll think of him.
Ooh,
I always forget what he's
That's
called.
probably not used anywhere out there.
edit.
I forget what he's called. Shoot. Anyway, this
Yeah,
isn't
we'll figure it
exciting.
out.
It'll
Yeah.
come back
Cool.
in like a random part.
Crank it up.
Crank it up. Crank it up. Free
Yeah.
cranking it up. All right, we're agreeing way too much. Here we go. This is going to stir some controversy. Maybe.
right.
Maybe not. Crank it up. Turn it down.
Turn it down right now.
Dude, crank it down.
No, you agreed. That's the opposite of what I'm trying to do. Crank it up, turn it down, riding on drum hoops.
Okay, hold on a sec. At the same time, we'll give our answer. Okay? So it's either crank it up or turn it down. Riding on drum hoops. 1, 2, 3. Crank it up.
Boom.
This hive mind over
Dude, he
here.
like threw up when he said it. He was like, ugh.
All right, let's get some explanation now.
get a
Get
room.
some explanation, and then a follow up to
You seemed really passionate about it. Like, what's your take?
yeah, what's your take? And which hoop are you riding on? Are you hitting your bass drum? Are you hitting the floor tom, rack tom?
It's usually the floor tom, sometimes the rack. Wherever I feel comfortable, but your whole drum set is an instrument, so you should be able to play anything that you need to or want to on it, and the hoop is an extension of that. So yeah, use that, man.
I definitely agree with it. Like it adds such like a unique sound because you hear so much more of the body of the drum.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, like you're getting so much sound from or a different sound from the drum, and you could choose if it's like the rack tom if you want something a little bit brighter or the floor tom. I mean, I'm not like one of the people who's going to be like hitting the side of my shells
Yeah.
or I mean, not that if I needed to and somebody was paying me a lot of money, I would totally do it.
Right.
But like or like the bass drum. But yeah, no, I think and it's you hear it a lot. Like I feel like I hear it a lot in music.
Yeah, it's a cool texture. I'm cranking it up too. I find myself playing on my snare a lot more. I just
It's a
recorded.
lot. I think it's easier to play. I mean, it's like easier to keep it kind of like on the snare.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. I've even combined that with a rim click at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're actually two very different tones. And then you build up, add some snare buzz in there. And
If
it's
there's
kinda
a
nice.
there's a really good song by Steps Ahead. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're like a jazz fusion group from the 80s, but Peter Erskine was the drummer.
Okay.
And he does this pattern. It's like it's like offset groups of 3/8 notes, and he kind of does that. He kind of plays on the rim and then does a rim knock, and he kind of flams them a little bit, and it has this great texture.
And
in
you're
the
like,
song.
what's he doing?
Yeah, dude. And you know, the other thing I think is really cool too is that like drums, like there's so many different sounds you can get out of a drum, but like you hit the shell or the rim with like the bead of your stick, and then you move it down to like the shoulder or like the shaft of the stick, you get a completely different tone.
Big time.
Right? So it's like you want it brighter, you want it a little bit darker, you want it fatter.
Yep.
Like I think
Yep.
that's just such a cool thing, man.
Yeah, for sure. And what you're saying about where you hit it makes a big difference. That is also something that you kind of learn with the diameter of the drum and your technique. You really learn how to use that and all use the different sounds in music rather than being like, wow, this is really inconsistent, or like I have to hit it just there. Like people view that as a problem.
Yeah.
And there are things like those Groovex X clicks, which are nice because it's real consistent sound. But I find myself sometimes, if I want more of that woody sound, even not going butt end out, to get a little bit of a less aggressive backbeat sort of rim click.
I hear what you're saying.
I like how you said rim knock.
rim knock. That's how I was. I think that's what
Is it?
I think that's what I don't know.
Yeah, I
What
don't
do you-
know.
Oh,
I've
so
never
like
heard that term.
Well,
I like it,
when
though.
I know this as a rim knock. So like you're going across the drum,
Yep,
and
yep.
then like a rim, just like a click or like a tap,
Would
like
be
on
okay.
the side. Yeah.
Okay.
The one's got the circle and the X, and the other one's just an X.
Yeah, there you go. Rim click, rim knock.
Yeah,
Hey,
dude.
Defining terms.
Yeah.
We'll just put the
every book is different.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's
Just make it up, dude. Just make it sound good.
It's like it's not hitting the snare drum with the stick on
Yeah.
the head. So let's just come up with a new term.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I
Everything's
might
made up.
turn it to 11. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You
I don't
mean
think
crank it
that's
to
ever
11?
happened.
Crank it to 11.
That's
Yeah,
never
there you go.
happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it has. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I'm going to say it's never happened.
All right, we're in way too much agreement. I know we're all going to agree on this next one. Quick round, speed round. Here we go. Crank it up, turn it down. I'm more interested in the why behind the crank it up, which is inevitable, I think, here. Warming up before you play a show.
Oh, can I be neutral?
Yes.
I'm neutral on that, dude.
You're not going to crank it up or turn it down. You're going to leave it as it is.
Yeah, because I think it's for everybody. I mean, like, you know, moving your hands, I think, is definitely important before you play. But I saw this really good master class when I was in college with a marimba player. His name is Gordon Stout, and he said he never warms up. And this guy is a freak of, like, you just watch him play. He doesn't miss a note, and his eyes are just on the music. And we were like asking why he doesn't warm up. He was like, well, like, what if I get off a plane and I have to go right to the stage and I've got to play and I don't have time to warm up? Like, I'm using my warm up as like a crutch to get my brain rolling for music. Like, I want to be able to walk on there cold and be able to do it. Now, that being said, that's just him. That's his experience.
Wow,
right?
that's crazy.
It made me think a little bit different about warming up because everybody's like, take your pad, go play for 15 minutes. But if you're in a, like, you know, you're playing like a house show or something, where are you going to go play with a pad? You know what I mean? You're just going to walk up there cold anyway. So, like, you know, I've been working on doing like a warm up of sorts where I'm just like kind of just moving my muscles in like different ways, kind of just like
Warming your hands up
just being
without playing.
trying to be limber. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need rhythm or I don't know. I think that's definitely a touchy subject for a lot of people.
So glad you brought that up there.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it depends on what you're playing and what you're about to do.
Yeah. Now, if I've got the time and I got like a green room or something like that, hell yeah, I'm warming up. Like,
Yeah.
I've got the space to do that, you know. But like, I think it's also safe to be like, I need to be able to go up and I need to go rip a 30-minute set as hard as I can and just.
Yeah. What does your warm up look like? Do you have anything specific that you always do, or you just try to get your hands loose?
If I'm playing on a pad,
Or
something,
you have the optimal warm up.
Yeah, I feel like I always come back to flam taps. I think flam taps are such a good rudiment to work on because it is every motion that a stick could possibly do. It's a full stroke, it's a downstroke, it's an upstroke, and it's a tap stroke, right? You've got all of those different movements within that. And you can really just concentrate on just being like, okay, how do my hands feel? And then, you know, flams you have to play a little bit differently. You know, there's a little bit more engagement with your whole arm kind of thing. That throw, you want that to throw the stick a little bit more. So you're using your whole arm to warm it up. So if you guys know like the Will Coxon book,
Okay.
like the first pattern it is or in solo number 1 it goes flam tap, flamadiddle, flamadiddle. That's my warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just telling Sean the other day I play flamadiddles. That's like one of the few rudiments. Like if I pick up like the sticks down on the counter or something, it just when I first learned that, it just felt like I was actually like loosening up a little bit. So that's a go-to for me. There's something about starting with a flam. I throw flams in everything I play. I'm just I'm a little flam happy.
Yeah,
I'm a little flam happy.
Yeah, dude.
But it's a
little,
lot of
little
flum.
flambunctious.
Ooh.
But turn it up. Crank it up. Yeah, no. Yeah. And
cool.
but also I think sometimes it's also like, what are you working on? You know, like it could be like I'm working on this song or like this pattern, and I'm just going to put a metronome on. I'm going to hear this click, and I'm just going to play like the skeleton rhythm of this pattern, and I just want to hear it, you know, and just try to lock in with time and try to feel how, like if it's a syncopated thing, how it's feeling against like the quarter note, or if it's an odd time signature thing, you know.
All right, he's leaving it as it is, Sean. Crank it up, turn it down, or leave it as it is. Apparently,
Warming up, was that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll crank that up. Yeah, definitely crank it up. And I have to say this, I do find it very annoying sometimes when you're sharing a bill with somebody and the drummer's warming up a little too much. He's out there, he's just playing. You know, I'm like,
wait,
all
on
right,
the
dude.
kit?
No, like
Or-
on a pad or something.
Yeah.
He's just playing on a table. Like you've seen this?
Oh, dude.
Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
Like,
Yes.
like I'll warm up with like some. You know, I'll do singles into doubles and just kind of that thing, like, you know, just singles into doubles and back and forth kind of thing. Throw some other things in there, but that's kind of my warm up. Singles into doubles.
Yeah.
I like make them sound even, you know, you know, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, then there's guys that are too like happy out there. It's like, you know, then they're just playing all over the place. Like
This
you're
guy's-
warm up. All right, you're warmed up, bro.
Yeah,
Chill out.
save
man.
it for the show,
Save
right?
it for the show.
This
man.
guy's
There's a-
backstage destroying
Yeah.
the back of a couch, just like
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that's not warming up. But yeah, a little warm up is good. Stretching, like I didn't do any
Stretching
warm ups this
is
weekend
so
when you were up
important.
there. Like
yeah.
you know, before I left, I did. I was at my pad a little bit, and then I left, and then just before I went on, you know, I like to do the sticks where you just flip them around, just kind of like, you know, stretch out
Stretch out your hands a little
stretch
bit.
out my hands a little bit, and then I'm good.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Nothing
Right,
too
you're
crazy.
listening to listening to yourself, you know,
Right.
like making sure everything's even, and if it's something that's not, you just like focus on what's not working and then
Right.
dial it in, and then you're good to go. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes. You just don't know how long it's going to take, you know.
Yeah, just
But
don't overdo it. Crank it
Yeah.
up, but don't be that
Yeah.
guy that's just playing all over everything.
don't show me what you just learned.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
God.
Anybody watching?
Yeah.
Should not be looking for
Okay,
people to
I
watch you
get it.
warming up.
It's like, okay, I get it. You got chops. Good for
Exactly.
you.
Dude, I
Exactly.
keep knocking these presents.
It's okay. It's okay. You knock one over, that means you bought it. You break it, you buy it.
behind door number 1?
Those are just empty.
That's a drum dial. That's a $150 drum dial right there.
Yeah, that's what this is right here. Yeah, I'm cranking it up, although with the asterisk, which comes along with warming up, practicing, pushing myself, learning new things, that I don't do it enough. I feel like I know it's a good idea, but how often do I actually do it is way
Dang, you
less.
just made me think about something, because
Go ahead.
like you were just saying, I was taking it in the context of a show. Like
Yep.
I was like, like I was saying, like I try not
Yeah.
to, but if I'm practicing at home, I definitely warm up every single day, every single day. Cause like if you're going to be sitting down there for like, I don't know, I practice a lot. I'll do like an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. If I'm going to be playing drums for an hour and a half, like I need to be loose. I need to be stretched.
And does warming up, you mean just you sit at a practice pad?
Yeah, like I'll take like one like simple, like lately I've just been working on just single alternating flams, and like just working on different like exercises of just like changing the position of my grip and just doing it for like 15 minutes and just really working on that. So that way when I dive into like my exercises, like I'm not like there's no tightness, you know, or whatever it is. Or if I'm working on a song and I have to like play hard,
Nice.
you know, I don't need to, or I can feel as loose as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Being out in the wild versus if you're about to teach all day is a different scenario.
Totally, yeah.
Different
What they
scenario.
call real world situations there.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, before I jump into talking more about students and stuff, that actually has to do with our next segment.